There is a palpable hysteria now among professional Democrats that Joe cannot win. I think there's an internecine warfare going on inside the party because Joe doesn't want to leave, and Dr. Jill definitely doesn't want to leave.
Oh, the doctor.
Joe Biden doesn't want to give away the legal authority to pardon himself and his brother and his son and other members of the Biden crime family, should that become necessary. But between his inability to deliver a coherent sentence, his obvious confusion on Veterans Day, that when he was laying the wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, that was embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
Now you take into consideration the impact of his policies: gasoline prices, inflation, grocery prices,
Bidenomics.
Bidenomics, yeah.
The fentanyl crisis, the crime crisis, all caused by an open border crisis. Now you add on top of that the epic, almost biblical-sized corruption of the Biden crime family. No, I think Democrats are increasingly hysterical about his inability to beat Donald Trump.
And on the other side, Trump just keeps surging. He keeps getting more. There's more support for him than the entire party has for Biden on the Democratic side.
It's so completely counterintuitive, but the more he is attacked in this tsunami of lawfare, the stronger he gets. Look, I'm a long-term purveyor of Donald Trump poll numbers going back many, many years. He has never been stronger or more popular than he is at this exact moment. Is he polarizing? Yes.
Good.
Joe Biden's polarizing.
Big time.
Kamala Harris is very polarizing. So I still think that in the end, the way the Democratic convention nominating process works, it's much more flexible than the Republicans. So Joe Biden could run the tables in primaries and caucuses and still end up not being the nominee, because the superdelegates have a disproportionate number amount of influence in their convention, and a simple rules change can unbind everybody on the first ballot. And Barack Obama remains, without any question, the most influential, powerful Democrat in their party. I still think that the possibilities of Michelle Obama are very real, for one very substantial reason. If for whatever reason Joe Biden cannot run, either matters of health or because the polls are so bad and the corruption is getting, thank you.
You're welcome, Raj.
The corruption is getting too apparent. Well, then the next person in line is Kamala Harris. She is a woman of color in the Democratic Party. That's a vital constituency for their party. How do you bypass her? The only way you can bypass her is with a more popular woman of color, and that would be Michelle Obama.
That same meeting that we were talking about, Ron DeSantis, Roger, you were sitting in this corner, Patrick Bet-David was sitting in front, and I asked the question. I said, Roger, who do you think the left is going to have? Because I obviously think that they must have something up their sleeves, especially with Trump surging like this, Roger. But then my other question was, Michelle Obama, you sat here and you said, Vinny, I'm telling you right now, and you didn't even hesitate. You said Michelle Obama, and you said take it to the bank. Raj, do you still feel like she's still a possibility?
I think she's a strong possibility. The more she says she's not interested, the more positive I'm convinced that she's going to run. That's kind of the way it works.
Forget now who I heard present a theory as to why he thinks Michelle is also going to be the nominee, because where they're campaigning or they're having their initial, I want to say delegate votes.
Well, they changed their schedule. So the Iowa caucuses no longer have delegates. The New Hampshire primary no longer has delegates. The first contest is South Carolina, where you have an absolute African-American majority within the Democratic primary. It would be a layup for her. The convention is where? Chicago, her hometown.
Forget it.
Who gave the keynote address when they nominated John Kerry? Barack Obama.
Yep.
Who gave the keynote address when they nominated Joe Biden? Michelle Obama.
Wow.
She now has her second biography out. Just like her husband had two biographies. It's largely a fabricated narrative about who she is and where she came from. People should not be sanguine about this, by the way. She would be an extremely formidable candidate. And if there are Republicans out there now snickering and making jokes about her sexual gender, that's a stupid mistake.